I have to tell you something that is just going to blow your mind. Right now, somewhere in a research lab, a scientist is literally tickling a rat on its belly.
Okay.
And I mean, like, really getting in there with the belly rubs. And that rat, it is genuinely, measurably laughing.
I mean, and we're not talking about some cute, metaphorical Disney movie thing here either.
Right,
It is actually laughing, like emitting these tiny rapid-fire giggles at a pitch so high that human ears are just biologically barred from hearing it.
Which is insane. But here's the absolute kicker. When the scientist stops tickling, the rat doesn't run away.
No, it actually turns around and chases the researcher's hand.
Yes, it literally begs for more. Like, we are talking about the star of every horror movie, the absolute poster child for exterminators, and it turns out it has this unfakeable, joyous sense of humor.
It really does. And that unfakeable high-pitched laughter is exactly why we're doing this deep dive today, focusing on the research of a guy named Jack Panksepp.
Because by tickling the most underestimated, honestly unfairly hated animal on Earth, he inadvertently found a biological blueprint that completely shifts our understanding of human joy and depression.
It's a massive shift, but to really get the magnitude of what Panksepp uncovered, we kind of have to set the scene. Back in the late 1990s when he was doing this work.
Right, the dark ages of animal psychology.
Exactly. The dominant scientific establishment back then was just so dismissive of animal emotion. The general belief was that real, deep feelings, things like joy or grief or genuine playfulness, they basically thought you needed a massive, complex human brain for that.
It was like the scientific community basically viewed animals as organic machines, right? Just Roombas running on code.
Basically, yeah, pure input and output.
Like if the rat bumps into something sharp, it backs up. If it smells cheese, it walks forward. Pure survival hardware. But Panksepp knew they were running the same basic emotional hardware we are.
He really believed that. He found the whole Roomba view incredibly arrogant. He argued that the architecture for feelings was laid down millions of years before humans ever existed.
Which makes sense.
Right. So he was determined to prove animals experience complex joy. And his big scientific method was, well, he sat down in his lab, picked up a rat, and started tickling it.
I just love the mental image of a highly respected neuroscientist resorting to belly rubs to destroy a century of scientific dogma.
It's amazing. But he came prepared with hard data. To measure the feeling, he aimed this highly specialized microphone at the rats, equipment that captures ultrasonic frequencies.
Because otherwise the room just sounds completely silent.
Exactly. And what he recorded just stopped him in his tracks. He picked up these rapid-fire chirps, firing at 50,000 cycles per second.
Okay, let me just translate that math for a second, because human hearing caps out at around 20,000.
Right.
So these chirps are at a pitch so high, your ears will literally never catch it in a million years.
Right.
He was staring at a room full of noise that was completely invisible to us.
He basically discovered this whole acoustic world of mammalian joy that had just been echoing around us entirely undetected.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because if I'm a skeptical neuroscientist in the 90s, I'm looking at his data and saying, sure, a sound is a sound.
Right, the skeptics are definitely there.
How do we know they aren't just making a random reflex noise? Like if you step on a tail, they squeak. How do we know it's actually a laugh?
It's the perfect question. And Panksepp had two major pieces of evidence from the source material. First, he mapped when else rats naturally make this exact same 50 kilohertz sound without any humans around.
Like in the wild or just hanging out in their cages?
Exactly, just in their enclosures. And he found that when young rats roughhouse and wrestle and play with each other...
Oh, like puppy play.
Yes!
Yeah.
When they are having fun, those exact same 50 kilohertz chirps come pouring out.
So the sound of playing with their friends... Mac is the sound of being tickled.
Perfectly matches. But the second piece of evidence is even cooler. Researchers took the ultrasonic audio and slowed it way down, basically dropping the pitch so human ears could actually hear the structure of the sound wave.
Oh, wow. So what does a slowed down rat laugh actually sound like?
It's not just a flat robotic beep. It
Yeah.
has this warbling, cascading structure. Acoustic biologists said it had the exact same rhythmic peaks and valleys as human primate laughter.
No way.
Yeah, it sounds remarkably like a breathless kid being tickled.
Oh, man. I know exactly that feeling, that completely helpless state where someone gets you right in the ribs and you literally can't even breathe and your brain is just misfiring in this chaotic, joyous way.
That is the exact neurological state Panksepp captured.
You physically cannot stop the laughter from bubbling up.
Right. And yet when he published this, when he presented this beautifully structured proof of joy to the scientific establishment, many of his peers literally laughed at him.
The absolute irony. A room full of scientists using their own biological laughter to mock the guy who just discovered the evolutionary origin of laughter.
It's perfectly poetic.
It really is. But a sound is just a sound. The real proof of joy came from what the rats did with their bodies when the tickling stopped.
Yes, the physical behavior is so specific, it completely destroys the idea that this is just some generalized nerve reflex.
Right, the tickle spots. I love this part so much. Because these animals actually have opinions.
They really do.
Like, if you tickle the rat on its belly or its back, you get a massive spike in the chirping. The rat is just losing its mind with joy. But if you try to tickle the tail,
Absolute silence.
literally nothing. They do not care for tail tickles.
Which proves this is unfakeable. A rat cannot politely pretend to laugh just to appease the researcher, like how we might fake chuckle at a boss's bad joke.
Right, if they aren't feeling it, they aren't laughing. It's an honest, biological signal of feeling good.
Exactly. And the aftermath of that good feeling is just so unhinged and adorable.
The hand chasing. This is what gets me. When the researcher stops the belly rubs and pulls their hand away, the rat doesn't take the chance to run and hide.
No, it actively hunts down the researcher's hand.
It taps the fingers. It literally begs for more. It's chasing the joy.
It wants to keep playing. And if the mood is right, this escalates into something scientists had to coin an official term for.
Oh, this is the best word.
Freudensprung. It's a German word that translates perfectly to joy jumps. The rats spontaneously leap vertically up the sides of their dark boxes out of pure, unadulterated happiness.
Joy jumps.
Oh.
It's just so cute. It instantly makes me think of a dog doing that frantic sideways bouncing leap when a loved one comes home.
That's exactly the biological equivalent. Their nervous system is just so overwhelmed with positive energy that their physical body can't contain it, so they just pop into the air.
Like popcorn?
Yes. And here is an extra layer to that. It's contagious.
Wait, really? Contagious laughter in rats?
Yeah. If a rat is just sitting there, not being touched at all, but it watches its cage mate get tickled and do these joy jumps, the watching rat starts chirping too.
Oh, that is so sweet.
The laughter spreads. It's exactly like how our laughter synchronizes the mood of a room.
A dark little box, just filled with contagious, invisible joy. But, this beautiful picture of contagious joy only exists when the conditions are perfect, which leads us to a pretty dark, incredibly human realization.
Yeah, the environment matters just as much as the tickle.
Here's where it gets really interesting and honestly a little uncomfortably relatable.
So researchers set up this contrast. Situation 1 is the dark, quiet box. Rats are nocturnal prey animals, so a dark space is their comfort zone.
Right, they feel safe.
Exactly. And in that dark box, belly tickles equal full laughter, hand chasing, joy jumps.
Total uninhibited play.
But situation 2 is completely different. They take the rat and put it on a raised, exposed platform under bright, harsh lights.
The ultimate nightmare for a nocturnal prey animal.
It feels completely exposed to predators. So the researcher uses the exact same fingers, the exact same pressure on the exact same spot on the rat's belly.
And the gut punch is, the rat does not laugh at all.
Total silence.
The physical tickle is identical.
Yeah.
But the brain receiving it is totally different.
Right, the mood change, not the tickling. Scientists literally watch the joy circuit in the brain physically shut down and go completely dark.
See, this is wild to me. Why wouldn't the physical stimulus just force the laugh anyway? Like, what overrides a physical tickle?
Think of the brain's emotional hardware, like a breaker panel in your house. When that rat is on the bright platform, it feels an existential threat. It's flooded with cortisol.
Total panic mode.
Exactly. To ensure survival, the brain literally trips the play breaker. It physically blocks the dopamine pathways for joy. It diverts 100% of the animal's energy to survival and anxiety.
Because joy is biologically expensive. If a hawk is about to eat you, you can't be wasting energy giggling.
Exactly. The stressed brain physically cannot access laughter.
And this connects so directly to the human experience. Like if you've ever had a terrible day, maybe you're terrified about your job or facing some awful personal crisis, and someone tries to joke with you to lighten the mood.
Right, it just doesn't work.
It doesn't. You just stare at them, feeling absolutely nothing. You might even feel annoyed. You know exactly what is happening inside that rat's brain. Joy doesn't override anxiety. Anxiety overrides joy.
Evolution will always prioritize staying alive over feeling good, which wasn't just a sad fact about rats. It ended up being the key that unlocked a completely new way of looking at human mental health.
So, what does this all mean? How does a rat freezing up on a bright platform translate to human psychology?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this was Panksepp's ultimate argument. Joy, play, and laughter are not luxuries. They aren't just fun personality traits.
Right, they're not just hobbies.
Exactly. They are ancient biological needs wired into brains that are millions of years old. Play is how mammals practice surviving.
And when you block that need,
Well, Panksepp said something amazing. He said, play and depression may be opposite sides of a coin.
wow, that is a massive statement.
It is. Because if a rat or a human is kept in a state of chronic stress, like that bright platform, the survival circuits are always on. The play breaker is permanently tripped.
So depression isn't just about feeling heavy or sad. It's the actual neurological starvation of the play circuit.
Yes. The brain physically won't let you access joy while you're under chronic threat.
This completely changes how we treat depression.
Yeah.
Because traditionally, psychiatry is all about suppressing the bad feelings, right?
Yeah.
How do we numb the anxiety?
How do we turn the volume down on the sadness? Yeah.
But if play and depression are opposite sides of the same coin, then just numbing the sadness leaves you flat. The real question becomes, how do we find the on switch for joy?
Exactly. What does a brain need to find the frequency where laughter lives?
And you can't just force it. You can't just tell a depressed person to cheer up any more than you can force that rat to laugh by tickling it harder on the scary platform.
Tickling it harder just makes it more agitated. You have to change the environment. You have to put the rat back in the dark box where it feels safe.
You have to create psychological safety so the brain feels secure enough to flip the breaker back on.
Right. It's just incredible that by simply tickling a rat, a scientist ended up holding a map to something humanity has been desperately searching for.
It really is. I mean, the next time you see a rat scurrying by a subway grate, you have to remember that underneath that tough exterior is a nervous system perfectly capable of joy jumps.
They are so much more complex than we give them credit for.
They really are. And I want to just slow down for a second here. I want to leave you with one final really vivid image from this whole deep dive.
Yeah, paint the picture.
Just imagine a small animal in a dark, quiet box, and a scientist's hand reaching in, moving gently on its belly, and pouring out of that little creature is this invisible, high-pitched laughter, completely filling the room.
A sound we can't even hear.
Right. And then the scientist's hand pulls away, and the rat turns around, and it goes looking for it.
It's such a powerful image, and it leaves us with a final, really lingering thought to chew on today. Because if play and laughter are ancient, mandatory biological circuits, we literally need to stave off depression, what happens to human adults who simply stop playing as they get older.
Oh, that's a heavy question.
Right.
Yeah.
Like in our chronically stressed, constantly working adult lives, are we unknowingly starving a biological circuit that we desperately need just to keep the lights on in our own brain?
We just put ourselves on the bright platform and leave ourselves there.
Exactly.
That is going to stick with me for a long time. Listen, if this deep dive shifted how you see your own joy, or if you just loved the mental image of a rat doing little joy jumps, please pass this specific conversation along.
Oh.
Send it to that friend who hates rats. Or the one going through a hard time who just needs to hear that their joy circuit isn't gone. It just needs a safe environment to turn back on. We will see you next time.